Morning friends, happy Tuesday, how the heck you doing? And the Meghan Markle effect is in full effect as per usual, because whatever Meghan touches, talks about, wears, turns to gold. Meghan Markle, Sussex, proves critics wrong as MasterChef ratings soar, and the royalists will be going absolutely nuts disputing the data. But the numbers don't lie, people. So let's jump into them now. MasterChef Australia, this episode just became the highest rated episode since 2014. So that's the highest rated episode for 12 years, just because this lady appeared in it. And that's the correct answer as well. That's the correct thing to do. Everyone wants to get a bit of Meghan. 1.1 million people watched the live, compared with typically about half that figure, between 400,000 to 700,000 figures. And obviously the viewing figures are going to go through the roof with digital, downstream, replay, catch-up, whatever you want to call it. This demeanour, this personality, this heart full of joy, this hard-working person is what other normal humans with a heart want to see. And the viewing figures just prove that.
For those who don't know or care, or for those who do care, Meghan was a guest judge on MasterChef Australia. And let's just say the response has been interesting. Firstly, for all those who said it was going to be a ratings bomb and people were going to boycott, Meghan Markle proves critics wrong as MasterChef ratings soar. You can pause to read and have a look as well. She did well. But I thought I'd start with the Facebook crowd because they're a particularly hard bunch to please. Lisa Mickard said, I wasn't particularly thrilled at Meghan Markle appearing on MasterChef, but I certainly wasn't going to skip an episode of my favourite show, like others have claimed. Turns out that she was a delightful guest judge who seems gracious and down to earth. I hope the ratings for the episode skyrocketed to prove them all liars. It did. John McCurley said she doesn't cook at home, they have a chef. How about a bit of truth? All the contestants were excited to have her there. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching her, the way she delivered her verdict in every dish that they presented. I loved it. She's lovely. I enjoyed the show tonight. Everyone on the show seemed to enjoy her being there. Someone responded to John, so you know this how? Have you had a meal with Harry and Meghan? Have you? Ex-Duchess of Sussex, I believe, said David Fawcett. People questioning other celebrity judges. Linda Ann said, our final four would run rings around her in the kitchen. Why is she there? Haha, why are you commenting then? Were you there? They would run rings around you for manners as well. Did you ask the same question when Katy Perry was invited? Probably not. It's not a requirement to be a chef in order to be a judge on a cooking show. Sue Candy Bravo said, it was a fantastic fun episode yet, with a beautiful guest host, generally lovely person. Well done, Meghan. Veronica Molasek was a great show tonight and the guys cooked up some stunning dishes. Meghan was a delightful and gracious guest judge. Florence Gloria Clean said, I loved it and really enjoyed watching the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. Awesome show. And Susie J said, I just loved the show heaps tonight. Meghan was so nice. Sue Smith said, Meghan is so beautiful, kind and warm. I loved her on the show tonight. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything. You see the appeal Meghan has. Julie Lowe. I don't watch MasterChef, although I've seen a few episodes here and there. And I only watched it tonight to see Meghan. And I wasn't disappointed. She was wonderful. What a great episode. Leslie Mitchell. Skinny leg Miss Markle almost made me spew. Really? And dare I say it, a woman of mature age. Yes, correct. Troll detected. And I could go on and on and on. There are a lot of comments. It's Facebook. But you know what? Meghan did it again. Haters, stay mad.
Just some quick thoughts on some of the reactions I've been seeing now that the episode of MasterChef Australia with Princess Meghan has aired. And these are very similar reactions to what we got last year when With Love Meghan aired. There's a certain demographic of people who are dismayed and niggled every single time that Meghan does anything public. And it's because they don't know who she is as a person really, after they've watched her doing this one single public thing. And what I find personally interesting is the idea that when I'm watching a lifestyle/cooking show where a woman is giving me life, cooking, recipe, kitchen, gardening hacks, like when I'm watching somebody explain to me, hey, here's a better way to maybe fry your apples, here's a better way to maybe bake your raspberries, right? Like just based on all of these tidbits, I'm supposed to have a greater understanding, a more profound understanding of this person's personal philosophies, their psyche, their personal life, their history, etc., etc., etc. Like in no one else is all of this burden expected. There is no obligation for any other person on any other show to give us their entire life history, their entire life story, just based on a few cooking tips that they're going to give us. And I'm not saying that that cannot be done. And I'm not saying that Meghan doesn't even do it, because she actually does. Like through With Love Meghan, I learned for the first time that you can make candles out of beeswax. I did not know that before. There are people who learned for the first time that MSG being bad for you was a political ploy. And those are just like two examples that I can cite at the top of my head. I'm pretty sure there are many more things that people learned, not just about Meghan, but about the world. Because one of the things we learn about her is that she's a person who is patient enough and who has the wherewithal and desire to raise bees. Like, this woman has an apiary. We did not know this information before With Love Meghan, and we knew it afterwards. And for some reason, knowing that about her is not enough, because she's not airing her dirty laundry. She's not telling us all of these deep personal things about her life, right? And so people are like, well, what was the whole point of me even watching this? I don't know anything secret about her. I don't know anything profound about her. And it's like, bitch, you now know that she fucking raised these bees, right? And here's where I have a problem with this demanding of people just prostituting their personal tragedies to you, the audience, so that you are able to better connect to their stories. Like, this demand for people to just bare their souls, regardless of the context, regardless of whether or not they are comfortable sharing those parts of themselves. Like, this need to dance for everybody to applaud you as a human person. For me, it disturbs me also, because when Meghan does become vulnerable and tell us all of the deep, profound things that are happening in her life, y'all fucking mocked her. Y'all harass her. Y'all disbelieve her. Y'all to this day are making fun of the fact that this woman ideated while she was pregnant with her eldest child. Like, y'all still to this day do not believe that this woman experienced the hardships that she did when she did come out and share with us. And so for me personally, the question I now want to ask people is, what do you want from this woman, right? What exactly do you want from this woman when she does become like the person that you want her to be, right? And she just does the thing that she was being paid to do, right? Even though she's not being paid to do these things. When she just does the thing that she was called to do, i.e. the cooking, the gardening, when she just does those things, you're complaining. But when she does show up and is like, you know what, actually, as a person, I've experienced all of this other stuff as well, you also complain, because you're like, why the fuck is she talking still? This bitch is still opening her mouth. Like, oh my gosh, she's the worst. It's always me, 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 me. It's always all about me. She always has something to say. She's always talking about something. Like, I just want to understand, what is it you want from this woman? It's a show about cooking. And she's not even the contestant. She's not even a regular judge on the show. She's a guest judge, surprise guest judge. Other people are competing. Other people's stories are being told. Like, what do you expect her to do, to perform for you? What do you expect her to give you such that you now know and understand just who she is as a person, really? Like,
good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are watching us graze. Meghan, the Duchess of Success, just did it again. Wait a minute, didn't they tell us nobody wanted to watch Meghan anymore? Because the numbers just crashed that whole conversation. Over 1.16 million people tuned in to watch Meghan on MasterChef Australia. That's not a little bump. That's not people accidentally sitting on the remote. That's millions of viewers saying, yeah, I'm watching this. The ratings don't care about online arguments. They don't care about angry tweets. They don't care about comment sections. The ratings only count one thing. Did people show up? And boy, did they show up. This is why I always tell people to separate noise from reality. Online, you'll see a handful of loud voices saying nobody likes Meghan. Then real life walks in, grabs the remote, turns on the TV and says, actually, we're watching. That's got a sting. Imagine spending all week saying a restaurant is terrible, then standing in line outside waiting for a table. That's exactly what this feels like. And let's talk about those critics for a second. Some of them were saying, I'm not watching. Really? Then how did they know every little detail from the episode? How did they know what Meghan wore, what she cooked, who she spoke to, what she smiled at? come on now, the math isn't mathing. Some of the loudest critics ended up becoming unpaid advertisers. Every complaint, every post, every reaction only made more people curious. Folks started thinking, hold on, what's everybody talking about? Next thing you know, another viewer, another click, another rating. That's how it works. Regular people understand something that sometimes gets lost in all the royal drama. Success isn't measured by who shouts the loudest. It's measured by results. If your show pulls huge numbers, the television bosses aren't sitting around reading angry comments. They're looking at one thing, viewership, because that's what keeps the lights on. Think about it. If you owned a TV network and one guest helped deliver one of the biggest episodes of the season, are you saying, let's never invite her back? Of course not. You're probably asking when she's free again. That's business, no feelings, just numbers. And here's another thing I loved. Meghan didn't need fireworks. She didn't need some over-the-top stunt. She walked into a kitchen, had fun, connected with people, and let her personality do the heavy lifting. Sometimes that's all it takes. People can spot fake from a mile away. They know when somebody's forcing it. Meghan looked comfortable, relaxed, and genuinely happy to be there. That kind of energy is contagious. You start smiling without even realizing it. That's why viewers stayed, not because somebody told them to, because they enjoyed themselves. At the end of the day, the scoreboard doesn't lie. Over 1 million people made time for Meghan. That's the headline. Everything else is just background noise. You honestly can't make this stuff up. The funniest part of Meghan's MasterChef Australia success isn't even the ratings. It's who helped those ratings grow. The critics. I'm serious. For days they were out there saying, I'm skipping this episode. I refuse to watch. Not interested. Then somehow they knew everything. They knew what Meghan was wearing. They knew what she cooked. They knew what she said. They knew who she laughed with. Hold on. If you didn't watch, how do you know all that? Somebody's story isn't adding up. This reminds me of that one neighbor who keeps saying they don't care what's happening at your house, yet somehow they're always the first one peeking through the curtains. Come on now, just admit you were curious. And here's the part that makes me laugh the hardest. Every single view counts. Television networks aren't sitting in boardrooms asking, did this viewer love Meghan or hate Meghan? Nope, they're asking one question, did they tune in? That's it. Once you're watching, you've already done the important part. It's like buying front row tickets to a concert just so you can spend 2 hours complaining about the singer. The artist is still thinking, thanks for buying the ticket, mission accomplished. That's exactly what's happening here. Some critics thought they were hurting Meghan by watching so they could criticize every little thing. Instead, they helped create one of the biggest MasterChef Australia episodes, talk about scoring an own goal. Regular people understand this better than anyone. If you truly don't care about something, you ignore it. You don't spend your evening watching it. You don't spend the next morning posting about it. You don't spend the whole week arguing with strangers over it. That's not indifference, that's investment. And here's another thing, curiosity is powerful. When people see hundreds of posts saying, don't watch Meghan, plenty of them think, well, now I want to see what everyone's talking about. Congratulations, you just advertised the show for free. No marketing invoice, no commercial, just free publicity from people who claim they weren't interested. That's got to be one of the greatest plot twists ever. The louder some people shouted, the more attention Meghan received. The more attention she received, the bigger the audience became. The bigger the audience became, the stronger the ratings looked. It's like trying to put out a fire by throwing gasoline on it. Wrong strategy. At the end of the day, success has a funny way of silencing arguments. You can dislike someone, you can criticize them, you can predict they'll fail. But if millions of people are still tuning in to watch, those numbers are speaking louder than the complaints ever could. And that's the irony. Some of Meghan's loudest critics didn't slow her momentum. They helped push it forward. Now that's a twist nobody saw coming.
You know what really grabbed people's attention? It wasn't some dramatic speech. It wasn't a fancy title. It wasn't, look at me, I'm the celebrity. It was the complete opposite. Meghan looked like she was having the time of her life. That's what people connected with. She walked into that kitchen smiling, laughing, asking questions, and actually listening to the answers. Sounds simple, right? But these days, that's surprisingly rare on television. Too many celebrity appearances feel like somebody clocking in for a shift. Smile for the camera, read the script, collect the paycheck, done. This didn't feel like that. Meghan looked like the type of person who'd happily stay behind after filming just to keep chatting over a cup of coffee. That's the vibe. And viewers can spot the difference in seconds. Let's be honest, we've all met that one person who's trying way too hard to impress everybody. Every laugh feels rehearsed. Every compliment sounds like it came from a handbook. After 5 minutes, you're thinking, all right, just be yourself. Meghan didn't give that energy. She looked comfortable. She looked curious. She looked like someone who genuinely enjoys good food and good company. That's why the conversations flowed so naturally. One thing I really noticed was how she gave the chefs their flowers. She wasn't interrupting them. She wasn't trying to prove she knew more than they did. She let them tell their stories. She celebrated their talent. Funny enough, that made people appreciate Meghan even more. That's a lesson regular people already know. You don't become the most interesting person in the room by talking the whole time. Sometimes you become the most memorable person because you made everyone else feel seen. That's a skill. You can't fake that. And here's something else. When someone enjoys what they're doing, you don't need an announcer to tell you. You can see it. It's in the smile. It's in the body language. It's in those little moments when they forget the cameras are even there. That's exactly what happened here. The episode didn't feel stiff. It felt relaxed. It felt like friends hanging around a kitchen instead of strangers trying to manufacture a viral moment. No wonder viewers kept describing Meghan as elegant, humble, and down to earth. Those kinds of compliments don't come from expensive PR campaigns. They come from people watching with their own eyes and making up their own minds. And maybe that's what caught some critics off guard. For years, they've tried to tell audiences who Meghan is. Then viewers watched the episode themselves and said, actually, we'll decide for ourselves. That's the beauty of television. Once the cameras start rolling, people can judge what they see, not what they've been told. In the end, Meghan didn't need to force anything. She didn't have to dominate the room. She simply showed up, enjoyed the experience, treated people with respect, and let her personality do the rest. Sometimes that's the strongest performance of all. Can we finally retire those predictions? Seriously, how many times have we heard them? Harry and Meghan are finished. They'll be back. They won't survive. They've run out of options. At this point, those predictions are collecting dust. Because every single time somebody says Harry and Meghan are done, they pop up doing something completely different. This time it was MasterChef Australia. No royal balcony, no palace event, no fancy procession, just Meghan in a kitchen laughing with chefs, enjoying herself, and somehow over 1 million people decided, yep, I'm watching that. That's got to be frustrating for the people who spent years insisting nobody cares. The scoreboard says otherwise. Here's what I love about Harry and Meghan. They don't seem obsessed with proving people wrong. They just keep living. Harry supports Meghan, Meghan supports Harry. One launches a project, the other cheers them on. That's what a partnership looks like. It isn't always fireworks and grand speeches. Sometimes it's just showing up for each other. Regular people understand that better than anyone. Most couples aren't trying to impress the whole world. They're trying to pay the bills, raise their kids, support each other's dreams, and find time to laugh in between. That's why moments like this connect. They feel normal, and normal is powerful. The funny thing is, some people acted like leaving royal duties meant Harry and Meghan would disappear forever. Disappear? Have you seen the conversation lately? One TV appearance and the internet is buzzing again. And television networks notice reality, not wishful thinking. If viewers keep tuning in, producers keep paying attention. It's really that simple. What also makes me smile is this. Meghan didn't need a crown to hold people's attention. She didn't need somebody standing behind her announcing royal titles every 5 minutes. She walked into a kitchen with a smile, treated people with kindness, enjoyed the experience, and let her personality do the work. Sometimes being yourself is the biggest flex, no extra decorations needed. You know what's funny? Some people still act like Harry and Meghan need permission to succeed. Permission from who? Life doesn't work like that. If you build something people enjoy, they'll show up. If audiences connect with you, they'll keep watching. That's true whether you're selling vegetables at the market, opening a small business, starting a YouTube channel, or appearing on national television. Results speak, excuses don't. And maybe that's the biggest lesson from this whole story. Harry and Meghan stopped trying to fit into somebody else's picture of success. They built their own. Now every successful project becomes another reminder that there are different ways to write your future. No palace announcement, no media campaign, no endless back and forth with critics. Just another successful appearance and another prediction quietly falling apart. Honestly, that's probably the best response anyone could ask for. Not an argument, not a press release. Just success that's impossible to ignore. Thank you all for watching. I'm your host, Miles. I really hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Catch you all in the next one. Blessed Tuesday. Goodbye.